What up, Goobertons? Today I'll be showing you guys some of the most common openers in set 13 and how to properly transition those into the mid game and to late game compositions. If you guys don't know who I am, I have played TFT since set 1, and I have been peak challenger in 7 different sets. Maybe we'll be back to the promised land in this set, we'll see. But anyways, that's kind of my background, and I've been teaching people how to play TFT for a long time. So if you're new here, please subscribe, and I'll make a lot of entertaining content for you and teach you how to do a few things in the game. That'll make starting the new set a little bit easier. So as I said, the goal of this video is not about meta, it's not about anything like that. It's just showing you some of the early game compositions that you can play for your opener, where the items are supposed to go in those openers, at least at the time you're making this video, and then where the easiest ways to transition those comps. Again, this is not about meta. This is not saying like, oh, you have this opener, therefore you play this. I'm just showing you guys the easiest to pull off transitions for those of you guys who haven't had a lot of time to practice, or those of you guys who are just lower level players who need a little bit of help starting the new set. Here I am. Okay, first up, this is actually my favorite opener, and I think it's a lot of people's favorite opener because I see it a lot. And this is the Conqueror family opener. So this is playing around Draven and usually around Vander, but could also be playing around Darius, just whoever you're upgrading, what it's looking like. So I like this opener a lot because it lets you immediately start stacking Conqueror, which is an economy trait, but also a damage trait. If you end up wanting to carry a Conqueror later in the game, like that Ambussy, then you're going to go ahead and have it stacks. So I mainly just like it because I'm a big Rageblade enjoyer, and Draven is an amazing Rageblade user, and you get the farm Conqueror. So that's why I really like it. I love this opener. And it naturally pairs very easily with family. Obviously, you can play any Watcher here, any Pit Fighter here if you want to, but the easiest ones you're going to hit are going to be Vi, and then, obviously you could hit some of the one-cost Watchers like a Mumu, but if you hit Vander, you're already 2 out of 3 family, and that's really nice. So you want to slam your attack speed and AD items onto Draven, and then typically your frontline AD carry items, they can go on anybody up here, or tank items. They can go on Vander, Vi, or Darius. Tank items are typically going to be best if you just have pure tank items on Vander. But if you have carry items, frontline carry items, just put it on whoever is currently meta to hold those items. You just got to pay attention to the patch. Whenever we're watching it, at the time we make this video, it usually feels best around Vander, unless you have a 2-star Darius, in which case Darius is a beast. Positioning I'm doing here, Vander, I'm just main tanking Vander, and then Darius is really good put more towards the center, because if somebody puts their front line across the center of the board, they will surround Darius, and Darius will spin to win, and he'll deal a lot of damage. So this is really good positioning this way, like this. Okay, and then naturally the way this comp progresses, if this is your opener, very simple. You add Powder, and you can reroll this. You can reroll this comp. This is a reroll comp. So you could just reroll this. But if you don't want to reroll that, then you can just then add a Camille. Where is Camille? I'm just going to type her in. Camille. And then you can just add in Camille, and then look at our synergies there. And if you know how Vander works, Vander deals more damage the more 1 and 2 cost champions you have on your board. And so this is really nice right here. And you can just reroll this composition, get all 3 stars excluding Camille, usually, unless Camille is very strong in the patch. And so naturally this will take you into when you build Rageblade, when you build like this, if you're going to build items like this, which is a great setup on Draven, you can also just build hard AD items, that's fine. Then naturally it's going to take you into the 4-cost AD carries like Corki, like Twitch, mainly Twitch. Twitch is amazing with these items, but it's going to take you into this 4-cost AD carries usually. All right, next up, we're going to be talking about the Sniper Enforcer opener, and here we go. So usually this is when you have a 2-star Maddie, and then you have like a 2-star Steb or Trundle or something like that. Look for this opener here, and you want to build items like this. These are some tempo items that I'm showing you guys here, a Spear of Sojin and a Runaan's Hurricane. Now, the thing about building these item combinations is a lot of players feel a little bit uncomfortable building this itemization here, because they're just so used to, like, when you build a Spear of Sojin, you're playing AP, that sort of thing. But this setup is like really, really, really good for tempo. And this can take you naturally into other snipers. It can take you naturally into, playing Caitlyn. Like, you can take this all the way up into vertical snipers, into playing Twitch, put the Runaan's on Twitch, put the Sojin on Caitlyn, and then just add and play like a 4 sniper comp. That's like an easy progression with this item set if you end up building like this for tempo. Another way you can do this is naturally this pushes you into scrap units really easily. So as you see our opener, especially if we're playing around Trundle, it's really nice because we can just take ourselves into GP, which at the time we make this video is a very good backline AD carry at the time of making this video, but it can naturally take you into this, and you're just into scrap and form fighter, and you could just swap into like a 3-cost composition if you're wanting to do that and play around Form Fighters, Gangplank, you know, Swain, that sort of thing. So that's a natural way that you can progress. Another very easy way, obviously, just build out your Bruiser frontline and then take you into, additionally, you can also take yourself into Ezreal, because instead of going to the scrap line, you can actually go into more of the rebel line, because you can play Set, who is a bruiser, and then you can play for bruiser, get out of these guys, play more around like artillerist and that sort of thing, like doing something like this. You know, obviously we'd be dropping units here because Sojin is great on Ezreal, and then you can figure out where to put your units if you end up building like this. But anyways, yeah, you can go more towards like a bruiser artillerist mid-game setup, and that can be pretty good too, playing around rebels and that sort of thing. You can also take this very easily into the Corkster, like I just said, when you're playing that scrap line, and when you're playing around Trundle, you add your bruisers, just build a front line, and then once you get that Corky, kind of transition and build more around just the 4-cost tanks. Like you're going to be playing, when you're playing Corky, your scrap in the end game. If you're just going to play 2 scrap, then obviously you want to be playing these Sentinels and play around Rumble, that sort of thing. So your front line can change a lot later if you end up playing on the scrap line. But that's kind of the most common transitions that you can play from this style of opener. Either the 3-cost transition into the scrap line or into the artillerist line usually is going to be your best bet, because it's easier when you have this bruiser opener with Set, or you go into the 4-cost with the scrap line into things like Corky and that sort of thing, and you'll be good to go. Additionally, also, like I just said at the beginning, you could take this all the way into Caitlyn Twitch, but you know, you do kind of need to hit a Caitlyn to make this itemization work. All right, next up is going to be more of a frontline carry item setup. So this is when you start the game with a lot of Akali's or Nocturnes, that sort of deal. And you can actually itemize both. I'm just showing you where both of the items will go. In the front line, you'll always play with this type of opener, especially if you're playing more around Nocturne, is going to be Watchers. Now, if you do think you're going to be playing more around Akali and you hit like a 2-star Aurelia, then obviously instead of doing this, play more around Rebels. You know, you can play more around Sentinels and Rebels. If you already have that 2-star Aurelia, maybe you're sitting on a Akali pair, that can be something to look for. But we're just going to start if we have this style of opener, and we're building our AD carry style items, or our frontline carry items. So when you're building like this, naturally in the mid game, you're just going to fill out your front line with Watchers, and then add your Quickstrikers, which is going to be, what's his face? Twisted Fates. And once you have Twisted Fates, then you can kind of like decide how you want to do your front line. Because if you end up playing Sentinels, like you just start out with Watchers like this, right? But if you end up playing around Sentinels and playing more around Akali, then you can strongly consider just doing more of a setup like, you know, Aurelia and a Dolores. Where's Dolores? Dolores. Play more around this, and then that gets you 2 out of 3 Rebel. That gets you Enforcer, and then that gives you a lot of flexibility here. You could play like you could drop the Watchers and play like a Bruiser frontline to play with Set and that sort of thing. So just keep that in mind. That's how a lot of your mid games will look. You just move into TF and move into that, and just rely on your 2-stars here to carry your mid game. And then additionally, you can reroll once you find the units that you want. I'm not exactly sure on the exact optimized reroll Quickstriker comp, but you're going to be probably playing around Dolores and that sort of thing, and the Rebels, and more around Sentinels and that sort of thing, and then just add your Quickstrikers, and then obviously we're going to be adding our Ambussy later. So what's cool is whenever you build like this, if you don't reroll and you're building like these items on Akali and on Nocturne, then simply you just transition these items to an Ambussy and like Vi. You transition it to like a Quickstrikers plus Pit Fighters. So where is that at? Like a Vi and Savika, you'll transition more to this, and obviously you drop out of these, and then your AP items like this can go onto something like Echo as well. So you're just looking, when you build like this, you're just looking for all of these like big beast mode champions here. Your AD items can go on Mbessa, they can go on Vi, they can go on Savika, and then your AP items will go onto Echo. Let's see if there's any other Echo, or if you end up playing around legendaries and play like Mordekaiser. So like when you build items like this, you want to just look for all of these units in the end game. And if you end up building like this, and you're looking for like a mid game comp, at the time of making this video, it's not good, but like I could see you building like this and playing like a frontline GP with like Swain and stuff like that, and playing like, and like even take this into like a lease and like put these items on a lease or something. That's not currently meta at the time of making this video. That's like, nobody does that, but I could see that being like a thing. So these are like the units you want to mainly look for whenever you build like this, or you just re-roll. And the cool thing about Mbessa, I'm just going to say something about Mbessa here. She's a great splash unit because she has Emissary. So she's just like a great unit to hold whenever you're doing your level 8 roll down. Just pick her up because she can go onto most compositions. All right, next up, we're going to be talking about the Visionary Rebel opener. I really like this opener. I just like playing around Set because the Set is wet, and I love Set that is wet. So that's just why I like it. Anyway, so this is whenever you're playing an AP opener. get AP items, you got a Vex 2, you got an Aurelia 2, we're good to go. This is always going to be the Sentinel that you want to play is Rel, because Rel is a Visionary, naturally gets you Visionary here, and I'm just showing you how you can get Rebel on the next level. And then the way you progress this is very simple. You just add Visionaries. So let's just type in Visionaries. I can't spell. Visionaries. So you just add Visionaries. It's so easy. So obviously we're going to be adding Nunu as soon as we hit him. That gives us Bruiser with our Rebels. So your Rebel will always be set for this reason. Obviously you can play a Kali if that's all you got. And then obviously we add this or Renata and we're good to go. So this is always what you're going to be playing for your mid-game frontline when you have a Visionary opener and you're transitioning out. Now any Visionary can go here. And this is really easy because you just ride this all the way into the 4 costs. So Vex will come out for Heimerdinger later. Vex will come out for Heimerdinger later unless you're going to play the vertical, right? Or you just remove the items off of Vex and put them on Heimerdinger and then take out the Morgana. You stay at the 4 Visionary. You swap out your Sentinel for a better Sentinel, right? It's a Rebel as well. So you just pop that in right there. Easy transition. You keep the set there and then you add our Spider Girl. Add our Spider Girl there. And then in game, you get all the way to this, right? You get all the way to this. You can keep 4 Visionary really easily. You get all the way to something like this and get our little rat in there. Yeah, so when you have that 4 Visionary opener, you can like reroll Visionaries, you can take it into Heimerdinger, and then also, you can do some Academy stuff too. So before you hit this, you could play something like, if your Academies are good, if you're peeking out your Academy items, you can play this plus an Academy, and then like, you just splash Jace at level 9 or whatever. How many units I got on the board? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's only 8 units right there. You could play this on 8s. Obviously any Visionary can go here. You could like try to dip into some Automata stuff. You could dip into like, if you hit like Mordekaiser or something like that and like do some Automata stuff. You could play a random Emissary in here. So there's a lot of stuff to do. So you just naturally ride this into a Heimerdinger Malzahar duo carry. It's like a great way to play it. So let's talk about itemization real quick. So obviously in game, your tank items are going to go on Alawi is going to be your best bet almost always. Alternatively, you could put him on Elise or Nunu. And Nunu, if you're going to go for Nunu 3, he's great with the tank items. You can use your Anomaly on him or on your Dinger is going to be your best bet. And so talking about items, if you're playing 4 plus Visionaries, you don't need to build a mana gain item. You can. That's great. Like it's great. Like there's nothing wrong with building a mana gain item. It's great. You get way more mana. But you don't necessarily have to. So if you want to build an item setup like this, I think this is great on Heimerdinger. Damage amp plus a little bit of mana gain and damage amp with Nashor's Tooth because it'll just be auto attacking and he gains a lot of mana by auto attacking with Visionary passive. And then a Gunblade is amazing on Heimerdinger. There's a decent amount of backline access with things like Zoe in this game right now. And Heimerdinger is one of those stacking AP carries. So like as he casts throughout the fight, he gets stronger and stronger and stronger. So a Gunblade is an amazing item on him and he'll be chain casting. And he also has like individual instances of damage. So Gunblade is amazing on him and you'll get a setup that looks like this. I love playing Visionaries. It's one of my most comfortable comps, my most comfortable AP setup. Obviously, if you have an opener like this, you could play Mages as well or Sorks, but whatever. Next up, speaking of Sorks, let's talk about this opener. So at the time of making this video, this doesn't feel that strong, at least to me. I could be wrong. I haven't been watching a lot of other people play, but every time I play Sorks, it feels a little weak. When I see it, it looks a little weak, but we'll see. But this opener, I really like this opener. I think the opener is pretty strong because Zyra is really strong in the opener. And so this is when you get a 2-star Lux or 2-star Zyra opener. And then typically you want to play around Sentinels, but you play whatever upgraded frontline you have. But it's good to play around Sentinels because it gives you a lot of options here because Leona and Rel give you a lot of options. Leona because you're already 2 out of 3 Academy. If you peek the Academy items, see if they're good for you. And, so that's kind of nice there. And then Rel is just like the ultimate glue unit. I'm going to make a video on glue units soon, but she has Conqueror, Sentinel, Visionary, just a 3 trader. So it's like very easy to pair with like anything here because you could take this into Visionaries or you could take this into Mages or you could just take this into your in-game AP carries, your Visionaries, your Mages. Yeah. So when you have this, you're probably playing Visionaries or Sorks, right? Anyways, so carry items are best at the time we make the video on Zyra and you'll be good to go. Unless the Academy items are like good items like this and you want to put them on Lux, that's fine too. Or if Lux is just strong in the meta, just peek the Academy. And then you're just going to build like this, build AP, build mana gain. And you're just going to, it's so simple, guys. You just fill out your front line, play around Academy, play around your small traits here. And then you're going to end up playing Sorks or Visionaries. So Visionaries, like we just showed you guys. But if you end up playing around Sorks, let me show you what that could look like. Before we get into that, let me show you one other thing. If you have this style of opener and all you build is like a Spear of Sojin, even if you build like a Death Cap, you can figure out a place to put it. You could play Ezreal, you could end up playing Ezreal. He's great with Spear of Sojin. You can end up playing Gangplank, but that transition might be a little bit weird. But, Ezreal's your next Academy. and you could just like swap and start playing some academy stuff and just play Sork for splash later with like a good Sork. So naturally what this will take you into in the mid game is usually you'll end up actually playing around, unless you're playing academy, you'll end up playing around Watchers, because you'll play around 4 mage and Watchers, which is Vladomir. And what's our other Sork here? We can play Swain is a really good one. I mean, obviously Nami is an emissary, so you can just play Nami, but I'm just going to show you guys some like trait combinations here real quick. We're already at Conqueror here. You know, maybe we won't play that. We have 6 units in right here. And then what is our form swapper? So Swain is really good to play because he allows you to have more frontline. And I'm just showing you guys what this naturally can look like here. And then we will go into Black Rose as we progress through the game. So this is our form swapper we'll add here with our Swain. And then once we get later onto the game, we'll add our Nunu. Where's our Nunu? That's Nami, but we can come back to Nami. Okay, we're here and we have Nunu. Okay, so at this point, we're going to start dropping out of some stuff and start playing the 4 cost. So let's go and we play. I'm just showing you guys, like, we have no emblems. You're going to be playing some mages. All right, we're dropping Zyra now. We're dropping this one. And then we play LeBlanc. If you end up having a emblem, then you can play 6 Sorks very easily. But you see how this naturally works, how we want to play Black Rose, because we play Elise, Vlad, LeBlanc, Zoe, and then we play Swain and Rel. We get to keep Conquer, so we get to keep farming. And we just drop this out and we play, where is our Rebel Girl? Play our Rebel Girl here. This will be our main tank, either this or a 3-star Nunu or a 2-star Elise will be our main tank. We got a lot of damage here. And then what else do we got going on? What do we need now? We need one more Rebel. If we want to play some Rebels, we could play another Rebel. Oh yeah, we just splash a Jinx on level 9. So how many units we got here? Scion doesn't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is what our level 9 could look like. I just built a comp on the fly just to show you guys that you almost always want to play around this Black Rose frontline, which is going to be playing around Vlad, Elise, and Nunu. If you don't want to play this Rebel stuff, then we totally do not have to play that. And we can actually just play Watchers, because we already have this guy, and we can play a Garen if we're not playing Nami. You can play a Garen here. Where's Garen? There's Garen. That gives us Watcher. And how many units we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we actually have another spot open. And so let's get a Visionary in this bit. So let's say we hit our legendary guy, got a Visionary in this bit. This is a level 8 comp, looks pretty good to me, guys. And you can actually start playing around a duo carry with these if you want to dip out of Sorks once you go to level 9, and if you build a legendary comp. And then we're going to be building items like this. I like Morello on her, or Red Buff. I actually really like it on her because she hits backline a lot. And then something like this. And then LeBlanc, I actually really like a Gunblade plus mana gain plus damage amp. And so if you're going deep into the Sork vertical, look something like that. But if you're not going deep into the vertical, then it'll look a little different. You can also go GS and not Gunblade here. Could be very good as well, because you're hitting tanks a decent amount of time. Do we have any more left? We have the Chem Baron. So this is the only one I'm showing you guys. If you guys noticed, I failed to say this at the beginning of the video. I'm not showing any of the 3-cost drop comps, because that's just a different topic for a different video if I decide to make that. I'd be talking for like 3 hours if I included every single variant that you can get dropped in the early game. But this one is the only one I'll talk about the 3-cost drop, because this is if you get a 3-cost Chem Baron drops. Now this could be anybody. This could be Schmeech or Rennie. It doesn't matter. They carry the same items. And then the Renata here. So you want to play a lose streak. So you don't necessarily need to slam these items. Whenever you get this opener, you want to lose. You want a full loss. I'm sure there'll be a lot of optimizations around this trait later on in the set that I won't be talking about now. But yeah. So when you get this opener, you want a loss streak, and typically you want to take this straight into this guy, straight into Dicko mode. And like Renata will just carry the Dicko mode items, and then we'll go over the Dicko mode. The reason is because Chem Baron is an economy trait, but it actually buffs your Chem Baron units like permanently, because you get these Chem Baron items that only Chem Barons can use. So typically you'll just build like this, get a huge cash out, and then you're going to play around Silco. You're going to play around these 3 units. You're going to play around Silco, Vi, and Savika, because you're building all these frontline items, which will go on Savika. Additionally, she'll have the frontline items that you get from the Chem Baron. She'll carry those. So your leftovers, if she has too many items, they'll go onto Vi, and then your AP items will go onto Silco. Your leftover AP items, if you want to continue to play around Chem Baron, can go on Renata or a Visionary like this guy or this guy. So your leftover items, you'll be looking for either of these carries usually, and you'll be good to go. And you'll just build out a comp with legendaries and 4 costs. That's pretty much how you play Chem Baron. Alternatively, Totally, there's going to be some patches, and we might be on that patch now because I've seen some people playing it, where you play around ambushers and Smeech, and you cap out your board with like a 3-star Smeech with like a Jinx carry. So where's Smeech? So like a 3-star Smeech with Jinx carry, and then the items go here. Your AP items would obviously go in Silco, and then you'd get some items for Jinx later. I mean, you can even go Spirit of Sojourn on Jinx. It's not that bad because she can just be casting like crazy. But anyways, guys, these are the openers. Just wanted to show you them to you. Hope this helps you. Good luck with the new set. I'm having a lot of fun. Hope you guys are having a lot of fun. And catch me live. I'll be live a little bit. And just stay on the channel. I'll be uploading a lot when I'm having fun and when we're grinding. Appreciate you guys. And
yo, fuck your mom's ass.